This is the light, and I am shedding light on a big update in the case of Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia. And this is that a potential $100 million wrongful death claim against the state of Connecticut has been filed by the estate of Mimi Torres Garcia. This past week, the estate was established in her name. An administrator was appointed to oversee it, and Mimi's biological father, Victor Torres, as well as an attorney, has been retained to investigate a wrongful death action. Now, the paperwork involved in this, it lays out allegations that the Department of Children and Families didn't do its job. The estate says that DCF was negligent in the following: putting Mimi in her mother's care when it knew or should have known it could expose Mimi to harm; failure to properly supervise or train employees of DCF involved in Mimi's case; and prematurely closing Mimi's case with the agency. Now, a retired probate judge explained that estates often have trust for surviving relatives, like Mimi's sibling or her biological father, who would be Victor in this case, but it wouldn't be somebody like Mimi's biological mother, Carla, who's actually charged with her unaliving. This judge went on further to state, quote, "We have a law that would prohibit someone who was found guilty of murder from inheriting an estate." Now, a lot of people asked why Victor Torres might be entitled to damages, given he didn't even show up for a 2024 custody hearing and hadn't seen Mimi for a year. Torres told investigators that Mimi's mother would not say where they lived, and he asked DCF to perform a wellness check, but it wouldn't do one without an address. He stated that this past October, he found out where Mimi's mother was living and visited, but she told him that Mimi was not home. Now, DCF has responded in saying that it will assess the allegations and determine an appropriate cause of action. Before any suit against the state can actually move forward, it has to be approved by the Office of the Claims Commissioner. Now, if you're aware of this case, you can feel free to stop at this point, but for those who don't know about it, I'm going to just read off kind of a quick summary to catch you up. And if you want to learn more detail, I actually have a 3-part series in my profile that does cover this case. So you can look for that on my account. So essentially, this case is that Jacqueline, which I'm going to call Mimi because that's what the family referred to her as, Mimi's remains were found in an advanced state of decomp in a storage tote outside an abandoned home on Clark Street in New Britain, Connecticut in October. Investigators believe that 30-year-old Jonathan Nanita had dumped the tote after Mimi passed away in the fall of 2024, while the family was living in Farmington, Connecticut, before they relocated to New Britain. Now, Mimi's mother, 29-year-old Carla Garcia, and the boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, who was her former boyfriend. Now it seems like obviously they're apart because they have both been charged with unaliving Mimi, as well as other offenses in connection with her death. Garcia's sister, 28-year-old Jacqueline Garcia, was living with the family at one point. She also faces child endangerment and other related charges in connection with the abuse that Mimi is believed to have endured prior to her death. During interviews with the police, Carla and Jacqueline Garcia, again, these are sisters, allegedly told police that Mimi would frequently be kept zip-tied in the corner of a room without trips to the bathroom or food, according to the arrest warrants in the case. Carla Garcia allegedly told investigators the girl was not fed in the 2 weeks before she died. Mimi's remains weighed only 27 pounds when they were found, which a medical examiner determined was due to a severe malnourishment, before concluding that she died of fatal child abuse with starvation. Her death was ruled a homicide. Now, according to court documents and DCF, the agency immediately became involved with the family when Carla Garcia gave birth to Mimi while in a detention center in January 2013. Mimi lived with her paternal grandmother until she was 9 years old. And then Carla Garcia, who is the mother, was first granted custody of Mimi in 2022, according to the court records. Then in July 2023, Torres filed a custody application and alleged that Garcia was violating their joint custody agreement, court records showed. In April of 2024, Carla Garcia sought sole custody of Mimi And just months before detectives believed that Mimi was unalived, Garcia was granted full custody of Mimi and her sister. Now, Carla Garcia had 2 children with Victor Torres, as well as 3 other children with the then boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita. DCF had multiple interactions with the family. During one of them in September 2022, the agency found that Mimi and the other children were safe and were reportedly unable to substantiate child abuse and neglect or, quote, or seek removal of the children from the home, DCF said. The case was closed in November of 2022. In January, DCF received a report involving Mimi's younger sister. And according to DCF, the agency was duped into believing Mimi was still alive after conducting a video call with someone who Carla Garcia claimed was her daughter. And it wasn't. That case was closed in March. The criminal cases against Carla Garcia, Jonathan Nanita, and Jacqueline Garcia are currently pending in Superior Court in Torrington, Connecticut, and all 3 suspects have remained in custody. Again, if you would like to know more details about that case, you can find a 3-part series in my account. So that's the update for now. Curious to see how this will go. $100 million for a wrongful death suit is quite a lot. I'm honestly not sure how that would do. Curious on your opinions below if you are aware of this case and have some thoughts. I'll see you in the